This program asks a user how many days they worked this week, and it prompts them to enter how many hours they worked for each day, and then outputs the total number of hours they worked this week. We're going to use this program to look at the difference between global and local variables. I've created two variables, total and day counter. Total is going to hold our total number of hours that have been worked. And then our day counter, we're going to use that to count up each day until we reach the number of days that they have worked. Create a new scanner object. I ask them how many days they worked this week, and I grab that number and put it into number of days. I've created a while loop, and while the day counter is less than or equal to the number of days, so again this is going to start on day 1, and as long as that is less than or equal to the number of days, this while loop will run. And while that condition is being met, we'll ask them how many hours they worked on day 1, day 2, day 3, and we'll grab that number and we'll put it into a local variable called number of hours. And we'll take what's in total and we'll add number of hours to it and we'll assign it back in total, and then we'll increase our day counter by 1. Finally, once day counter equals the number of days that they worked, we're going to exit out of our while loop, and we'll go down here and we'll print out the number of hours that they worked this week. And then finally we close our scanner. Our total and our day counter are examples of global variables. These variables can be used throughout our whole program, and they can be adjusted inside of our while statement. And again, after our while statement ends, we'll be able to access what was in the variables. Number of hours is an example of a local variable. Every time this while loop runs, it's going to print out the statement and create a new variable called number of hours that holds the next integer. It'll use that in the calculation and then increase the day counter by 1. After that, Java will discard number of hours, so it will destroy it, and we won't be able to access the value in that again. The next time the loop runs, again the system.out will print the statement and it will create a new variable number of hours, store the integer, we'll do our addition again, increase the day counter by 1. Any variables created inside of a while loop or a for loop are only available while that loop is running. Anytime that it's done running one iteration of it, it's going to destroy that variable and then recreate it if it runs again. So this means that if I wanted to find out what our value was in number of hours after the while loop is finished, I can't do it because it's only available in this loop, and after this loop is done, it's destroyed. Eclipse is giving me an error that says I need to create a local variable called number of hours. Eclipse doesn't acknowledge that there's a variable called number of hours because the number of hours variable is only available inside of that while loop. That means that the scope of the number of hours is only in that while loop. So let's run this program and you can see it in action. How many days did you work this week? We'll say 4 days. And it'll ask us for how many hours each day. And then at the end, output that number. If I needed to hold on to the number of hours each time, I would need to create variables outside of the while loop. What would actually be useful in this situation is to use an array. We haven't talked about arrays yet, but arrays give us some flexibility to create variables on the go based on user input. And I would be able to create an array that would have the number of placeholders I need for the number of days that the user entered. So I would have to create that outside of the while loop so that I could access it again. And we'll get more experience with arrays in the next couple weeks and using loops with those. For now, I just want you to come away with the understanding that any variables created inside a loop are only available while that loop is running. It's destroyed each time that the loop ends, and if the loop's back through again, the variable is recreated. In order for variables to stick with us after the loop is complete, we need to create global variables, and those will be available throughout the course of our program.